Hello. In today's lesson, we will learn how to run and record a macro. To be a little more specific, we will create a macro that will be inserted into a footer into the document. If you have not already done so, open a blank document and click the Developer tab. If the Developer tab is not displayed, please complete Project 3A on page 145 of your textbook. When you click the Developer tab, you can see that there are a number of options available. But for this lesson, we will be working with the code group only. So to record a macro, the first thing that you need to do is click the Record Macro button, which will open up the Macros dialog box. This is where you name your macro and you give it a brief description. If you wish to assign a button or keyboard shortcut, you can do so from this dialog box as well. But today we are not going to do a shortcut. So let's enter the name of our macro. So for this macro, I am going to name it CIS213DE footer. As you can see, there are no spaces in between those words. So you want to enter that with no spaces. In the description, I'm going to type insert my name, MEID number, and course section number as a footer. And then you press the OK button. And that will close the macros dialog box. As you can see, the cursor now resembles a cassette tape, which tells you you are in the recording stage. If you look at the options in the code group, they are slightly different. You now have the option of pausing a recording and stopping the recording. Just so you have an idea of what happens when you pause a recording, let's click the Pause Recording button. Now that option changes to Resume Recorder, and the cassette tape disappears. To continue, all you need to do is press the Resume Recorder and the cassette tape will return. Okay. Now you are ready to create your footer. Inserting a footer into a document is the same as you would any other footer by selecting the Insert button and then clicking the drop-down arrow in the footer. The only exception is that instead of clicking Footer and then selecting the footer that you want to use, one of the built-in footers, you would select Edit Footer. You're probably asking, why am I selecting Edit Footer when I'm creating a footer? What I have found when creating a footer using one of the built-in features, not only is the information from your macro inserted into the footer, but also the built-in placeholders as well. To give you an idea of what I'm referring to, I created this footer, leaving in the information, and even though I went through and I deleted the placeholders when I recorded my macro and saved it and went back and inserted it into the document, all of this information, the built-in placeholders, were also inserted into the document. And that's not how you want your document to look. So if we're going to insert a footer into a document, let's do so by selecting Insert, then Footer, and then Edit Footer. As you can see, the footer option is automatically inserted into the document. Okay, so let's type in your name, press Tab, type your MEID number, press Tab, and your 5-digit section number. If you would like to change the look of your footer by changing the font style, the font size, do you want it bold, you want to change the colors, any kind of formatting that you wanted to apply, you would do it at this time by selecting the footer and making the changes. However, for this one, we're going to just let it be the default settings. Okay, so now I am finished with inserting the information into my footer. So now we're going to click on Close Footer, click the Developer tab, and now we're going to select Stop Recording. Now since we no longer need this document, we can close it. So you could just go ahead and close it and say, click Don't Save, because you no longer need this document at all. Okay? So I created this letter here, and I'm going to insert the footer that we just created into the document. But where is the macro? You click the Developer tab, and in the code group, you will see a button that says Macros. If you select that, click on it, and it will show you all of the different macros that you've created and that's saved in your Word programming. We are using the CIS 213DE footer, and as you can see, I have created a few of them that I use for my own personal use. So to run a macro, you simply click on that macros button and you click Run. As soon as you click Run, if you scroll down to the bottom of the document, as you can see, the footer that we just created is automatically inserted into the document. And that's it. That is how you create a macro that inserts a footer into a document. Thank you very much for watching.